What if the child you adopted wasn't a child at all? In 2010, an Indiana couple thought they were bringing home a 6-year-old orphan. But what followed was a nightmare of betrayal and abuse, a mystery that's still dividing the world today. This is the terrifying true story behind Hulu's Good American Family, the story of Natalia Grace. Natalia Grace was born in Ukraine in 2003. She had a rare form of dwarfism called SEDC. It caused short stature and skeletal issues. Abandoned by her birth mother, she lived in an orphanage. In 2008, she was adopted by the Sacones in New Hampshire, but they gave her up 2 years later for disruptive behavior. Christine and Michael Barnett were the picture of the American dream. They had 3 sons, including Jacob, a math and physics prodigy. Jacob had autism, and Christine turned his success into a platform. She wrote a memoir called The Spark about nurturing gifted children. Michael wanted a daughter to complete their family. In 2010, they got a call about Natalia, a 6-year-old Ukrainian girl. At first, it seemed like a fairy tale for Natalia. The Barnetts took her to Disneyland, showered her with toys. Christine saw Natalia as her next project to nurture. Michael was thrilled to finally have a daughter, but the honeymoon period didn't last long. Christine noticed something during Natalia's first bath that shocked her. Christine saw that Natalia had pubic hair and was menstruating. They believed this was impossible for a 6-year-old. They claimed Natalia's vocabulary was too advanced for her age. She didn't grow as expected for a child with dwarfism. Michael said Natalia admitted to hiding bloody underwear. Then they accused her of disturbing behaviors. She allegedly urinated on her brother Ethan and smeared feces. They said she threw her brother's toys into the street. They even claimed she hid knives in her bedroom. The worst? Natalia stood over their bed with a knife at night. She threatened to kill them while they slept. The breaking point came when Christine caught Natalia with cleaning fluid. She claimed Natalia tried to poison her coffee. Christine said Natalia wanted her dead. But Natalia denied this in the curious case of Natalia Grace. She said Christine staged the incident to frame her. Natalia accused Christine of coaching her to lie about her age. Who was telling the truth in this twisted tale? The age change and abandonment. In 2012, the Barnetts took drastic action against Natalia. They petitioned an Indiana court to change her legal age. They claimed her Ukrainian birth certificate was fake. A detective agreed, and Christine cherry-picked medical opinions. The court changed Natalia's birth year to 1989. She was now legally 22 years old overnight. No longer their responsibility. The Barnetts rented her an apartment. They paid a year's rent, left canned food, and moved to Canada. The apartment in Lafayette, Indiana, wasn't accessible for Natalia. She couldn't reach the stove, shelves, or mailbox. She had no phone to call for help. She was 9 years old, abandoned, and left to fend for herself. For over a year, Natalia struggled to survive alone. Her disability made everything harder in the apartment. Then, a neighbor named Cynthia Mans noticed her on the sidewalk. Cynthia and her husband, Antoine, a pastor, took Natalia in. They had 10 children, but welcomed Natalia with open arms. In 2023, the Mans family formally adopted her. It seemed like Natalia had found her happy ending. But the 3rd season of The Curious Case of Natalia Grace dropped a bombshell. Natalia alleged the Mans family had abused her too. She claimed Antoine Mans was abusive, though details were unclear. With her boyfriend Neil, whom she met on Facebook, she escaped. Nicole and Vincent DePaul, a couple with dwarfism, rescued her. They had tried to adopt her in 2009, but were denied. The DNA test that changed everything. In 2023, a DNA test finally revealed the truth. Conducted by True Diagnostic, it showed Natalia was 22 years old then. This meant she was just 9 when the Barnetts adopted her. She was only 11 when they abandoned her in 2012. The Barnetts' claims were based on lies. Natalia had always said she was a child, not an adult. The DNA test proved her story, but the damage was done. Legal battles and public backlash. In 2019, Indiana charged Christine and Michael with neglect. They argued Natalia wasn't a child, so they weren't guilty. But the DNA test proved she was a child at the time. Michael was acquitted in 2022. Charges against Christine were dropped in 2023. The Barnetts have since divorced and stayed out of the spotlight. Christine once called the docuseries sensationalized on Facebook. Natalia's story went viral, drawing comparisons to the film Orphan. Some online believe the Barnetts, calling Natalia a con artist, but many see her as a victim of unimaginable trauma. So where is Natalia now? Today, Natalia Grace is 21 years old. She lives with Nicole and Vincent DePaul in New York. She's been diagnosed with reactive attachment disorder. It's common among children from orphanages and causes challenges. Despite everything, Natalia is working toward independence. She's learning to drive and studying for her GED. In 2025, she told people, "It's a blessing to be alive." She added, "Looking back at my 7-year-old self, I should have been dead." She's made peace with her past, showing incredible resilience. The bigger picture. Natalia's story isn't just a true crime mystery. It exposes flaws in international adoption systems. It highlights the lack of support for children with disabilities. It shows the dangers of sensationalized media narratives. The Barnetts' actions raise serious questions. How could they abandon a child so easily? Why did the court allow her age to be changed without evidence? What does this say about how we treat vulnerable children? Good American Family on Hulu tries to tackle these questions, but critics say it fails to capture the full complexity. What do you think? Was Natalia a victim? Or did the Barnetts have a reason to fear her? Closing thoughts and call to action. The terrifying true story of Natalia Grace is haunting. Reality can be stranger and darker than fiction. Check out The Curious Case of Natalia Grace on Max for more. What do you think really happened? Do you believe Natalia or the Barnetts? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. We're exploring another twisted tale next. Stay tuned.